They told me at dinner that my sister deserved the house more than me. My chest tightened, and I left the table before I could say anything. I went to bed pretending I hadn't heard it. The next morning, the lawyer called. What he told me set a plan in motion I had been quietly building for months. My mom said it like she was closing a chapter. "Your sister deserves the house more than you," she said, quiet and final. My throat closed. I felt like I had been shoved off a cliff. They had no idea what was coming next. My name is Claire Bennett. I am 34. I work as a nurse manager in Columbus, Ohio. I pay my bills on time. I had been helping with the mortgage for 5 years. My parents, Janet and Robert, lived in a 2-story house in a small suburb. My sister, Tara, 30, worked part-time and had 2 kids. Mom smiled at Tara across the table. Dad looked away. The stakes were obvious. The house meant security. It meant my name was tied to a childhood, to a fallback if things went wrong. It also meant money. The equity could fix my student loans and buy a small place for myself. That dinner felt like a verdict. I could hear Tara laughing about paint colors. I tasted metal. For months I had been paying extra on the mortgage. I had bank transfers, copies of checks, and messages with Mom about Monday payments. I had never told them I was keeping records. I felt silly saving receipts, but I did it anyway. At night I logged each transfer in a spreadsheet. I told no one. I was keeping something in case I ever needed proof. They thought it was over after dinner. They had no idea. The lawyer called the next morning, and his voice was calm. The quiet plan I had been building for months now had a trigger. The call came from a title company lawyer, who represented a firm my parents used. He said a transfer of the house had been submitted. My stomach dropped. I asked when. He said last evening. I asked who signed. He named my mother. He asked if I had any claim. I said nothing. I remembered the small things that now felt like clues. Months earlier, when Dad's knee surgery left him shaky with bills, I had wired 2 large payments to their mortgage. I had texted Mom screenshots. She had replied, "Thank you, love." I had kept those messages. 2 weeks before that dinner, I had asked them to let me help set up automatic payments. Mom had joked and said, "You already do enough." I had kept pushing. I added my name to the online mortgage account, so I could monitor payments. They thought I was being helpful. I logged in every pay period and watched the balance drop. In my spare time I downloaded mortgage statements and wrote dates in my spreadsheet. That habit saved me later. When the lawyer called, his tone suggested a title problem. He said the county record showed a quitclaim deed to my sister, signed by my mother. That deed could move property quickly. But he also said something I had been waiting to hear. There was a recorded lien on the house. He read a date. My heart hit the floor. I had recorded a promissory note and mortgage months earlier after Mom and I agreed I would lend money to cover medical bills. I had taken the cautious step of recording it at the county clerk's office. He paused. "That lien will complicate the transfer," he said. I swallowed. The first chess piece had been moved. After the call I sat on the kitchen floor and stared at my records. I felt betrayed and oddly proud. Betrayal because my family decided without telling me. Proud because I had prepared without speaking. I hired a lawyer that afternoon. Her name was Maya Patel, late 30s, sharp and steady. She had handled estate disputes. We met near the county courthouse. Maya took the spreadsheet, bank transfers, text messages, and the notarized promissory note my parents had signed. I told her about the quitclaim deed. She did not look surprised. Maya explained the law plainly. A recorded mortgage creates a secured interest. A quitclaim deed can transfer title, but it cannot wipe out a prior recorded lien without payoff. The title company had flagged the lien, and the transfer could not finish until the lien was resolved. That meant leverage. Maya said we could file to enforce the note, or try negotiation. Court could be slow. Negotiation might be faster. Tara posted a photo of the kids in the yard with the caption, "Finally free to paint the new house." Friends congratulated her. I wanted to scream at the screen. I also felt clear. If they wanted to move fast, I would move faster. Maya wanted a title examiner to confirm chain of title and lien priority. I called the examiner she recommended. Each call, each paper, tightened the plan. The chessboard was filling in. I slept that night with my phone on the table and the calendar marked for the first filing. They still thought it was over. They were wrong. Public exposure made it worse. The family group chat exploded when news leaked that Tara would take over the house. Relatives picked sides. Some sent sympathy. Others sent private messages full of guilt. Mom posted a blurred photo of a cake with family first and icing. It felt like salt. Tara started changing locks talk in comments, talking about remodeling plans in a live stream. Her husband messaged me, awkward and insistent, about running numbers. I answered once, cold and clear, that the title records did not yet allow any changes. He stopped texting. Meanwhile, my parents began giving mixed answers. At brunch they offered vague apologies. In private, my mother asked if I wanted to come by to talk. I agreed, but I recorded the meeting with my lawyer's advice. She admitted she signed the deed without telling me. She said she was tired and wanted simplicity. Her voice asked for forgiveness. I kept the recording. The title examiner called with useful news. The lien I had recorded was valid and first in priority. The quitclaim deed was recorded after the lien. That made it harder for Tara to claim a clean title. The examiner also found a suspicious handwritten amendment to an older will in a shoebox. It wasn't yet executed, but it suggested Mom had been considering changes for months. Pressure rose on one side and cracks opened on the other. Politely, Maya began sending formal letters. We filed a notice of lease pendens to alert the public that a claim was pending. That move froze most transfer activity. Social media storms continued, but paperwork was slowing them down. The next morning, a knock at my door came from a neighbor with a notarized envelope. It was a letter from an unknown executor. The game had shifted again. Maya's plan was tidy and legal. We would not scream on social media. We would use paper, priority filings, and quiet leverage. Revenge meant enforcing my claim and making sure my contributions were recognized. First, we organized proof. I printed bank transfers, saved messages, and made a timeline. Maya drafted a demand letter asking for repayment under the promissory note. She also prepared paperwork to ask the court to recognize an equitable lien or constructive trust, because I had paid mortgage and upkeep expecting reimbursement. That could win recognition of an ownership interest. Second, we lined up allies. A title examiner confirmed lien priority. An appraiser agreed to value the house. Elaine, a family friend who had seen me make payments and hear Mom thank me, agreed to witness. Small professionals, quiet and firm, bolstered my case. Third, we set a timeline. Maya filed the demand letter and kept the lease pendens in place. We gave my parents and Tara a short window to respond. If they refused, we would ask the court to enforce the debt and, if needed, order a sale to satisfy it. It was legal, clean, and decisive. I revisited my files and added a few more orderly notes, dates, and receipts. I felt no triumph, only relief. The plan was not revenge for spite. It was a structure to correct an unfair choice. I slept better for the first time in weeks, and oddly steadier about the future. Negotiation was the next phase, but we prepared for court. Maya sent the demand letter with a clear offer. Repay the loan within 30 days or enter mediation to agree on a sale split. We offered a face-saving option. Mom could keep a portion if she refinanced or signed a repayment plan. The choice was structured and reasonable. My parents called, voice small and apologetic. They asked for time. Tara posted another vague update about family talks. Maya advised firmness. We would accept a reasonable repayment schedule, but not a secret transfer. The lease pendens remained public. A title search would flag any further attempts. As days ticked by, small cracks widened. An accountant I hired discovered an old promissory note from years ago that suggested my parents had planned to address debts differently. That document made their story shakier. Meanwhile, several conservative relatives began reaching out to me privately, admitting they had suspected favoritism and offering support. None wanted to go public. Support mattered anyway. We scheduled mediation. The mediator was frank. Courts were costly and slow. Settlement often made sense. In mediation, Maya presented the ledger, the transfers, the lien, and witness statements. Tara's side presented the quitclaim deed, and a case that Mom had wanted to simplify estate plans. The mediator pushed for a split that paid me back with interest and left Mom with a smaller share. The day before mediation, my mother called alone. Her voice cracked as she said she had panicked and signed without thinking. She asked for mercy. I felt the old ache, but also the new certainty. I had set the rules, and now they had to follow them. Execution felt like an office procedure, not a Hollywood scene. We arrived at mediation with files in a slim binder. Bank statements, a notarized promissory note, the recorded mortgage, screenshots of my transfers, the lease pendants, the appraiser's valuation, and Elaine's signed witness statement. Maya spoke first, calm and exact. She laid out the timeline like a row of facts. Tara's lawyer argued that the quitclaim deed transferred title, and that Mom had the right to gift property. Maya countered with the recorded lien, and argued equitable interest. The mediator reviewed the appraiser's report showing the house's fair market value and the mortgage balance. He asked about ability to refinance. Tara's husband admitted they could not easily refinance without clearing the lien. The room changed. At one moment, the mediator asked to hear Mom privately. When she returned, her face had shifted. She looked tired and honest. She said she regretted signing without speaking to me. Mom agreed to a settlement. Our loan would be repaid from proceeds of a partial sale, or if Mom kept the house she would sign a repayment plan secured by a formal mortgage in my favor. The quitclaim would remain on record, but my recorded mortgage would be recognized and paid. We signed an agreement. The title company prepared a formal payoff schedule. Tara stopped live streaming paint choices and posted a short caption about family decisions. The lease pendants was removed after recording the new mortgage, and the settlement was filed. I did not dance. I felt a slow, heavy relief. In court or mediation the facts had mattered more than voices. The documents I had quietly kept carried weight. The house remained, but the agreement respected my contribution. The moment of execution was quiet, legal, and final. After settlement, life returned to a new normal. My relationship with my parents changed. We had polite dinners at first. There were awkward silences and small apologies. Mom called less. Tara's comments at family events were distant. I stopped scrolling their posts. Distance felt healthy. Financially, the agreement repaid me over a set schedule with modest interest. It covered the mortgage contributions and left enough equity for my parents to stay. They kept the house, with a formal mortgage acknowledging my secured interest. If they missed payments, the agreement allowed me to demand remedy. That safety felt fair and precise. I had not taken the house for revenge. I had taken protection. Emotionally, I felt complex things. There was no clean victory. I had proof, legal muscle, and a plan, but I also had loss. Childhood memories tied to that house would always be shared with people who chose differently. The settlement did not change that. It did give me respect and a boundary. My parents learned the cost of acting without me. They learned that simplicity did not excuse secrecy. Friends asked if I regretted going legal. I told them the truth. I regretted the fight, not the choice to protect myself. I had set rules about fairness and stuck to them. The quiet revenge was not public shaming. It was an insistence on being seen and respected. Months later, at a small family lunch, Mom reached across the table and squeezed my hand. She apologized again, quieter this time. I accepted, not because everything was fixed, but because I wanted peace. The lawyer's call that morning had started a cold plan, but it also forced an honest rebalancing. Sometimes justice is paper and patience, and sometimes that's enough.